I'm excited about today. In case you didn't know, you're hearing it from me at least. Hopefully, it's going to be public soon that OpenAI is sunsetting custom GPTs. I've known for a few weeks now. And even though I've known, I've been dragging my feet because I have over 175 custom GPTs that I have not done anything with. And I'm like, people have been saying that some of they've like gone in and like theirs have been gone missing. So I was like, ooh. So if you're in the same boat, we're not, no judgment, but I'm here to basically talk to you about what this means because for me, it was huge because I have my alchemized content method and it runs off of custom GPTs. That is the literal framework to how it works. It's stacking specific GPTs to work with it. So I don't know what it was. The universe just like was telling me in my dreams I needed to come up with something better. So I already started creating a better system that is not platform dependent when it comes to my own frameworks, my course, and how people use the alchemized content method. It doesn't relieve the problem that I still have of I have really good custom GPTs that I've created over the last few years and they're going to just disappear. And what have I not done? This magnified the real problem that it's not really a custom GPT or an open AI problem. It really magnified and opened up the reality that it's an us problem. These are our custom GPTs, things that we build for things that are based on our framework, how we teach, our knowledge base and experience. And it's our IP that we're just letting like sit there. And it doesn't belong to ChatGPT or OpenAI. So we need to reclaim it. And this just goes to show that I'm at this point where all language models at this point, OpenAI, Claude, all of those things, guess what? They do not care about us. And we need to be smart about what we're building, how we're building it, and how we're sharing our content, our IP, and all of the above. So if you're like, have no idea what I'm talking about, you don't even know what custom GPTs are, it's cool. It's cool. All right. So this is my ChatGPT account. And the way you get to your custom GPTs is you scroll down. You come here to explore GPTs. Now, I have some GPTs that I got from my coach, but you go here to my GPTs on the right hand corner. And the one thing that I will tell you is that this load more takes a while sometimes to load, but thank goodness mine are all still here. You can see the ones that were only for me, ones that actually were open to the public, ones that people actually use, ones like this that obviously I didn't do with anything with, so I can delete them. There's stuff in here that when I really started to look through, I was like, "Man, it looks like there's some custom GPTs that I created that are a little redundant. They look like it's almost the same thing. I may have tweaked something small to it." So this is a good opportunity for just housekeeping within your AI space, especially for those who like got all excited when we started creating custom GPTs. Some of us obviously went crazy. So these are all mine. Not all of them are probably good. Probably these first few were the ones that I had no idea what the heck I was doing, and then I started doing my training and got certified, really understanding the framework that should be used for, like, a good source code, and then really went to house and made some really amazing ones when we got to the top. What I wanna make sure that we understand is you need to have a file that will help you keep this stuff protected. So what we're gonna be doing today, this is your plan for 2026 and beyond, because what if OpenAI just all of a sudden decides they're not going to be supporting us from a personal perspective, which is kind of the direction that it seems to be going, where they've already started to announce in certain spaces they're being more business focused, and I think they're just trying to figure out how to deal with, like, their revenue stream. Claude has skills, but the problem with skills and why custom GPTs were so effective was that it did not show our IP, like the brain of the skill itself. When we shared it with customers, clients, students, we were sharing the front facing face of it, like the front door, the house, so to speak, and they would go to the house and then everything would be decorated. They didn't see any of the stuff in the background that went into it. Like they don't see the foundations, they don't see the wiring inside that makes the house so beautiful and functional and like magical. When you're dealing with skills and you share a skill, they get to see that IP behind it. So there goes that part of just being brilliant to be like, how do we create things? Now, there's things like MindPal, which is a little bit more advanced. It is a little bit more expensive when you start to like go into some of it. It requires a little bit more like techiness, I feel like, so that you're never stuck in this situation. Again, it's not platform dependent. It still allows you to protect that IP on the back end while still being able to forward facing share so that people are seeing the results, but they're not being able to like just duplicate the hard work that you put into creating the magic behind it. So it's something that if you're really sharing a lot of your IP, you can invest in so that you can still protect yourself online. But if you're okay with sharing certain things that maybe it was like a free custom GPT, you just need to be mindful in terms of how you share it and you working with Claude to be like, look, this is my IP, this is my framework, this is the custom GPT that I was giving out for free. How can we adjust it as a skill that doesn't really give so much of my IP? They have to do some of the work. It gives them a similar result, okay, so that they get the win, they get the gifs of it, but they still need me to make it like all happen. There'll still be something that's missing. It's not going to be mom's recipe. Like they still need me to cook it because it's just not going to taste the same. It's going to fill their palate. It reminds me of my mom's cooking, but it's not the actual like dish. I could tell it's not my mom's. Okay. We want that effect. A lot of people did the create. Create was the less techie people were letting ChatGPT create it for them. But for some of us that were more advanced that actually had our own IP, we created it from the configures perspective. This is what it looked like when the students or the clients would see it. And this is what we saw on the back end. So we always had a name, a description. You had all the instructions that it had. We usually gave it knowledge bases and then we gave it permissions of like what it was allowed to do. Plus we always also safegated it like these were only for me. And then we had some that were only available for people who had the link. And then you could always make it so that it was available on OpenAI's like marketplace where people can just Google a problem or a solution and they would find all the custom GPTs related to that specific like category. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Claude CoWork to essentially do the heavy lifting and go through OpenAI, copy all of my custom GPTs, put it in a Notion headquarters dashboard that it will then create for me. I'm going to give you guys the actual prompts, believe it or not. So I have my notes here. Now, before I do that, I do want to just explain to you that this is something that I started to talk about it. Say OpenAI disappears. Okay, I went on a tangent and totally forgot to like put it together. My apologies. That's why a lot of people are switching to Claude because Claude is surpassing what it's capable of compared to what we're getting in OpenAI. But we still have other platforms. And let's just say Claude, like something happens, partnerships are being made. People who are behind these large language models, they don't really care about us. So safeguarding and all that stuff really is important for us to start thinking about. But it's also the thing that it's not going anywhere. And if you're not getting in there and learning these tools, there's a lot of implications. There's a lot of biases that the language models are starting to really, really show. And it's because certain groups, certain people are not using it, and we're being left out of the language model's knowledge bases of the truth. What we really need to focus on today is that you have the same ability so that it doesn't matter which language model is your choice of the month or the best one to be with. Upgrades happen all the time. So here in Gemini, which is Google's language model, you say this thing is called gems. You can create a new gem. And what is a gem? It's basically like a custom GPT. Notice how it has the same thing. Preview your gem here. It works exactly the same. So my goal is to take all of my custom GPTs and then essentially put them into a Notion. Now, if you're not a Notion user, I totally understand. I'm still in a love-hate relationship. It's very anxiety driving, but I'm focusing on like it's gonna get better. It just feels scary because it's new, Anakani, and just not giving up on it because I can see the potential. It just the formatting works better with a lot. The MD kind of files work really better in Notion. Most of the other language models understand Notion. It collaborates really well with it as opposed to when I'm working with Google, certain things just don't mix. You see that they're like brothers and sisters and you see the parts where they kind of were fighting. So, I am going to start using gems to share with other people so that I feel like it's still going to be having that chat custom GPT usage. So I'm going to test it out and I'll do a follow-up video to let you know. But I have this feeling like it is going to be something where I can share and I don't necessarily have to share the back part. I can just share the gem itself. And they have some that they've created for you. You'll see it down here, pre-made by Google. And when you use theirs, because I've used this hand-drawn doodle style illustrator. They have one that creates a book for you. If you want to learn how to use YouTube, um, they've done stuff. I don't get to see the backside, so I'm pretty sure it's the same way. And what do I do with this Notion file that CoWork for Claude is going to create for me? I'm then going to ask Claude to analyze it and tell me which ones are worth actually turning into a skill. And then telling it which ones do I want to still use, help me enhance the ones that I still can use as like freebies, lead magnets for my customers, and then help me turn it into a universal source code that I could have it work with. It doesn't matter which language model. It could still work with Claude. It could still work with OpenAI if they ever bring custom GPTs back. It can work in gems. It can work in personas in Magi. We're in CoWork. We need to go into a new task. Okay. We want to be in CoWork. Now, we want to basically copy the first prompt, which is somewhat long, and it gives it very specific instructions. I'm going to read you the titles and like the main thing. So the task. Need you to build my custom GPT backup dashboard in Notion is the title. And it says, I need you to help me extract and organize all my custom GPTs from ChatGPT into Notion database so I own my own intellectual property and never lose it. Here's what I need you to do. Step 1, open ChatGPT and extract my GPTs. Step 2, create a Notion database. Step 3, populate the database. Step 4, create a summary. And then important, do not summarize or shorten the instructions. I need the exact full text of every instruction field. If you cannot access a GPT or its edit page noted in the migration fields, save everything locally and in Notion, belt and suspenders. Ask me before taking any action if you're unsure about anything, and then use ask before action acting mode for any file downloads or browser navigations. Let her have a party, depending on who your Claude is. I know some people like name the language models. I tend to not. And I'm just going to bring this down so you actually can see it in the window. So it's thinking. Now, I do have a second prompt that we're going to give it. Like, hey, I love that you're taking ownership of your intellectual property. Now, sometimes Claude's going to do this. Do you know roughly? I have more than 50. Are you currently logged into ChatGPT in your browser? Yes, I'm logged in. Where in Notion should I create a GPT Vault database? Do you have a workspace in mind? Not sure. Just create it. I don't think I have one already, so I'm saying that because I'm hoping that it's going to look just to see, and then it's going to go ahead and go. So it's going to go into the browser. Good, I've got the browser and the Notion tools ready. Let me set up the task list and start navigating. So it's already doing its thing. Let me start by navigating to your ChatGPT, my GPT's page, creating the Notion database at the same time. And I mean, y'all can be going and doing something else. Now, the second thing we're going to do is we're going to have it analyze our GPTs and then convert the best ones into Claude Skills. The second prompt is analyze my custom GPTs collection and convert the best ones into Claude Skills backed up to Google Drive. Now, I do that just because I am nervous about a lot of these platforms. Like, what if one goes down? Claude is growing at a really fast pace. What if their servers crash? And you're like, shoot, I don't have nothing backed up outside of Claude. I'm just using Notion. I already explained to you at the beginning of this video. If you want to know again, go back and rewind it. But I also have Google Drive. So I'm getting just a backup, because what if for some reason a new language model that surpasses one of these other ones ends up being something that I get pulled towards and it makes sense for me and my business and my clients, but it only has Google Drive connections and not Notion? I don't want to be in that space. So I want to make sure that it's definitely backing it up on both. I don't do it for everything, but for this, absolutely. I counted approximately 7.3, including a few untitled ones. That's Serious IP portfolio. Now let me create the Notion dashboard and start the first GPT experiment simultaneously. So it's going to be a while, like I said. That's why I'm going over this other stuff. This is the first prompt that we already put. Step 2, create the Notion dashboard. So it's doing that now. Now prompt 2 is to actually analyze it and start. So take my custom GPTs collection and convert the best ones into Claude Skills. I just built a Notion dashboard, so it's going to be a follow-up to the once the first thing's done. My custom GPT vault with all my custom GPTs extracted. Now I need you to analyze them and help me figure out which ones to convert into Claude Skills. Here's what I need you to do. Read and analyze my GPT vault, score and categorize each ones. It gives them a specific way of how to do that. Build a migration plan, convert now. It gives them phase 1. So create a Notion page called GPT to Claude Skills Migration Plan and organize it like this. Convert like high, medium, low, and then create skills file as a step 4. For a high priority, create a proper Claude Skills as an MD file. Each skill must follow this format. Okay, and it gives it the format. And then step 5, save everything to Google Drive. Again, my backup. Okay, so it gives it the format. Step 6, update the Notion database, and then it gives it important notes, tip for best results. Now, this tip for best results is for y'all. Run prompt 1 first, then review your Notion dashboard. Don't just blindly be like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure AI did a fantastic job. No, do not assume that. Before running prompt 2, set up a CoWork task before acting mode the first time so that you can make sure that you watch what it does. We talked about that in yesterday's Claude Chrome and Claude CoWork masterclass in the AI Edge workshop. So if you have a lot of custom GPTs, more than 20, CoWork may need to work in batches. After prompt 2 is done, you can install your new skills into Claude by going into settings, upload. We talked about that in Claude 101 as part of your AI Edge masterclass series. Keep your Google Drive backup folder. This is your intellectual property insurance policy. Okay. Like I said, this is going to take a while. I already knew that. So homework, at least export 1. Now, if you don't have any custom GPTs, you're on the safeguard. But if you ever start to really get into AI, you're going to see that you need these things. You need a custom GPT or skills or personas or gems if you really want the language models to stop giving you shit. Because what? Shit in, shit out. And what does it do by having these things? It saves time. They're custom instructions that are either designed with your framework, your voice, your expertise to either give to clients or so that the language model understands you and your objectives, your business, your offers, who you serve, all those things. So you're not having to repeat yourself over and over and over. The beautiful thing about Claude is that when you create these skills and you have multiple businesses, it's so smart. With custom GPTs, you had to tell ChatGPT which ones to use. Again, you cannot do this, cannot have Claude CoWork manually do this for you and do the heavy lifting if you don't have a paid Claude account. You can go ahead and do this yourself and do it manually, or at least have your Claude free version, set up the Notion, and then you individually have a VA or yourself go in there if that's where you are in your business and you don't want to invest 20 bucks into the pro account so that you can have CoWork do it. You have to have CoWork. Your homework is to do that. If you have custom GPTs, I just told you how to get Claude to do and get it off. Now, if you only have one, I wouldn't waste Claude's time. Just do it yourself. It's pretty easy. Save it. That's it. That's your first step. Save it somewhere. Notion, Google, both, Notes app, your hard drive. I don't care if you're a Windows or a Mac person. And yeah, as always, continue to be you, continue to be beautiful, continue leading from your heart. Let me know if this is something that you plan on doing. Have you backed up your shelves? My name's Anna Connie Walters. I am your AI doula. I hope you guys had fun. Let me know if this was helpful. I'm doing it while I'm momming. So if I can do it, y'all can do it. All right. Have a good night.